Hey guys! So I wanted to make a video because my blog posts have been getting pretty long. And I wanted to talk about what might be kind of a strange subject, but it's my video, so I'll talk about whatever I want. And if you don't want to watch it or hear about it, then click exit and kindly go on with your life. So I want to talk about surviving breakups, right? And when you hear the phrase breakup, you often think about a romantic breakup, and so that's the kind of terminology I'll mostly be using in this video, and that's mostly what this is about. But don't feel like this isn't something that might be relatable for you if you're not going through a romantic breakup, because there are many situations that are breakups, whether you're changing, moving, fired from, quitting a job, you're no longer friends with someone, or they're not talking to you, or whatever. Whether you have a toxic family member or some drama that goes down with a family member, right? Like, there are so many different kinds of breakups. So if that's kind of what you're going through at the moment, then just use the romantic terminology of the metaphor. So that being said, if you would like to hear what I'm going to say about surviving breakups, please continue watching. And if you don't, then please go away. So why am I talking about this? Well, first of all, several of my friends have gone through breakups over the weekend, so it's been kind of an emerging theme in my life to be talking about and being like, hey, here are my stories from the past and how, I survived, or, I don't know how I survived some of those breakups, and the things I learned the hard way, the things I learned through other people's mistakes or, wisdom, and then just talking to them. So I figured, well, if my friends are going through this and if we're talking about this so much, then I'm sure other people must be going through it, and maybe they would want to hear some of this stuff. So, that being said, my first point with breakups, social media. Point number one. Where to even start? So, I guess before I go into that, I should say I don't know anything about filming, and I can tell already that the quality of this image is so low, so I really apologize for any technical errors that are occurring, because I don't know what I'm doing, but one day maybe I will. Anyway, so if that's going to bother you, just wanted to address the obvious so that you're not sitting here totally distracted the whole time. Alright, so social media, numero uno. So a couple of points about social media. One, social media just is a part of our world now. It's how we communicate, it's what is out there, it's how we think even. So don't feel like you're super superficial. What a sentence is that, huh? If that's one of your first reactions is like, oh my gosh, we're, about to breaking up right now, just broke up, I'm realizing it's over, how do I handle it on social media? Because that's actually a very valid question. I mean, part of your personal social media is kind of branding yourself and sharing yourself with everyone you know. And depending on how public your social media is, it could also be part of your personal brand, right? So that's not petty. And so let's talk about that for a second. So 2 big points. One, you don't have to post on social media for a while. You can take some time, detox, process, go through the drama, and then be like, okay, I'm fine, and be reborn from the ashes again before you post on it. Post on any social media about it, right? Your social media isn't necessarily up to date. It's rough because we live in this real-time world now, because we have internet that's so fast, Wi-Fi that's so fast, texting, but that doesn't mean that you emotionally have to be available to everybody all the time. So if you're not ready to say anything on social media, you don't owe anybody an explanation, so don't. The second point about social media is that sometimes you feel an urge to be emotional or make a post where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so upset, this happened, I'm really mad at my ex, or PS, he and I broke up now, or she and I broke up now, or whatever. And it's you don't have to go into that stuff, because what I have learned personally about my emotional posts is when it comes to stuff that's very intimate and personal like that, or that is a negative emotion on your part, people are going to interpret everything on social media however they want. So if this is somebody who is seeing your post and doesn't know you incredibly well and doesn't know the situation, or even if you just use maybe the wrong wording, or if you just come across a certain way, right, they're gonna sit there being like, oh my god, this person is crazy, this person's so full of drama, I can't believe this, oh my god, and you're sitting here I had valid reasons, and if you had been there, you would have known. So save yourself that drama, because you're already going through enough drama, let me tell you, sister, okay? So ignore social media. So that's point number one. Moving on. So the next thing that I think is really important, I'm going to move you down a little bit so you can see my hand gestures, because, I'm all about talking with my hands. Closure. So communication at the end of a relationship is really weird. It's like this gray area that can be kind of different for everybody. And, as we're all transitioning into trying to be more mature adults, it's really difficult sometimes. So closure is something that you want. And then at the same time, you're like, how much do I talk to my ex? Now, if you truly are one of those people who can stay friends, only friends, and look at your ex as just a platonic friend, oh my God, like, good for you, / what is your secret, right? Because that's huge. But for most people, I'm talking like 99% of the people I have met at least, it's not really healthy to keep talking to your ex just because you need that time to move on. And even if things are totally cool, maybe you just want to take some time to kind of, 2 weeks, not like forever, to just kind of be like, and distance yourself a little bit and put them off your radar, right? You don't need to unfollow them from social media, one, right? Because you don't need to find out, oh, like, look, we broke up last weekend and now he's hanging out with a girl already. Like, wow, okay, I was cool their breakup and now I know that, like, you was, like, play me some Beyonce, right? Like, you don't need to play those games. You don't need to go there with yourself. And you're already going to spend a lot of time thinking about this relationship and this person, unless you're polyamorous and it's multiple people, right? Then you really want to. So try and kind of limit your exposure to this person. If you have some sort of interaction regularly, like you work together or volunteer together or are in the same, membership of some sort of community, right? Then just play like your coworkers. Just keep it professional and civil and like, hi, how are you? And then if your ex starts going into the whole, oh my gosh, like, so how are you doing? Have you seen anyone? Blah, blah, blah. Just be like, oh man, I don't mean to be rude, but I actually have to go do this thing for the reason we're here, right? Because if you're there, you have a reason, and just give yourself some time because they're no longer a part of your business. They're no longer a part of your romantic life. So you're allowed to do that. So I'm not saying that you have to like cut them off completely, but I would put some distance in at first. And this seems to be the conclusion of most of my friends, most of the psychology articles I've read on Psychology Today and the like. So just save yourself that trouble. Now, there are some conversations that in some situations need to happen at first so you can have that closure. And there are going to be those moments where you need to talk to that person, but it's called closure for a reason, okay? Because once you get the closure, you're going to close the door and you're going to walk away and do you, honey, okay? Which brings me to point number 3. So the breakup is happening, is about to happen, has just happened, right? And it's really surreal and jarring at first because usually there are a lot of negative emotions associated with it. Depending on the breakup, sometimes there's a part of you that's like, yes, I'm liberated now. And sometimes there's a part of you that, feels really good about it. Maybe you're excited about new opportunities for dating. Oh, I can finally flirt with a cute UPS worker, hashtag legally blonde, hashtag I'm Elle, or whatever. But if that's not the case, then let's talk about how you're going to handle it and how you're going to survive this in a healthy way, right? That's going to be constructive to your life and your growth, and also not make your contributions to society and every person who comes across your path totally miserable. Let's talk about that for a second. So I have found, through trial and error, believe me, that the best thing to do right after a breakup is go all out focusing on yourself, right? Don't be afraid to take some time to just have fun. So for some people, that's going to be staying home and reading a new book. And for some people, it's going to be going on like a shopping trip and splurging. And for some people, it's taking a bubble bath. And for some people, it's working out at the gym and being like, yes, I don't have anybody to be like, where are you at? I'm still at the gym. Oh, what do you mean you're at the gym? Like, nope, I'm actually at the gym doing me, right? So in whatever way is your way, do that, but also like try and focus on the positives about yourself, because during a breakup, things get emotionally really complicated or ugly, and sometimes they're really hard. And that's not always the case, but so often it's so difficult, right? So don't think about, don't take it as a reflection of your self-worth. Like, don't take it as, oh, I couldn't make this relationship work out, or like, oh, I chose the wrong person, or I should have done this, or I made a mistake, or maybe I'm the one who like pulled a really big boo-boo, lied, cheated, whatever, and like now it's over. So inevitably you're going to process that, right? And think about it and absorb whatever lessons are there for you, whether it's, I should have kicked that idiot to the curb long ago, or like, wow, I am so ashamed of myself, I'm never doing that again. But in the days immediately following the breakup, do yourself a favor and wear your favorite outfit that you look the hottest in, okay? Do those little things, like go take care of your eyebrows, okay? Trust me, if you're a human being, you need to go take care of your eyebrows right now. This goes for everybody, right? Unless you have like no eyebrows and you tattoo them on or something. And just like take care of yourself. Like, I know there was no feeling more empowering than I remember a day in high school. We broke up that evening. I believe it was on AIM, the messenger for AOL. Yeah, I'm dating myself here a little bit for some of the younger kids, but we broke up online, and I was so upset, and I was going to see him in class the next day, so I was like, oh my gosh, I was so worried about it, and I was so like, how could this be? Like, I thought that we were in love. All stupid, right, emotions. So I put on a shiny black top and my nicest jeans, and, I think I wore like kitten heels or something. I don't know, it was high school, and now I'd wear like a dress. And I did my makeup, and like I did like a sexy little eye thing, did my hair, perfume, got up a little earlier in the morning to do all that stuff, walked in, and all day everyone was like, you look nice today, and oh, so, and guys were checking me out, and I felt pretty good. And so like that kind of gave me a little boost. And then when I did finally see him, it was like, look at what you're missing. It wasn't like, I know, I cried myself to sleep last night, and that's what the puffy bags are from, and here's my sad sweatshirt, and when do you want to exchange stuff? Like, it was just like, hey, look at me, like, I'm fine, I'm awesome, I'm ready for whatever life has to offer. Because even if you are super messed up about this person, don't give them that power over you, right? So if you can't control it, move on. But there's going to be that part of you that's like, right? So don't let them know they have that power. If you can't change them having the power, make it so they don't know that they have the power over you. So to kind of go off of that point, I find some other things really help me. I listen to music all the time. I love music, obviously. And so for me, what helps is a positivity playlist. So you're going to want to create like a self-love playlist. And if you don't have one or don't want to create one, I'm actually going to be making one on Spotify tonight. So I will be sure to type it out because I'm making it for my friend. But I will be typing it out and sharing it with you on social media in some form. And so that's my own self-love playlist. And so these are going to all be songs that, okay, to clarify my point, most people, when they think of like a breakup playlist, it's all about the breakup, and it's focusing on the breakup, and it's songs like, Carrie Underwood singing about like, he cheated, so I, messed up his car. Those are great, and you're going to need a playlist like that for your life, right? Because no matter what happens, you need a playlist to be like, I told you, don't need you, right? But that's not what this playlist is for. This playlist is songs that are all about like, I'm awesome, I love myself, like I'm happy, I'm cool, I'm trying to do my thing, right? Life is good. There are things to live for other than a relationship. I'm not defined just by my relationship status. Thank you, Teen Vogue, right? Like stuff like that. So I hope that one makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't, and I'll explain in comments. And I'll be posting like a self-love playlist later. So yeah, so that kind of wraps up point 3. Just spoil yourself, go all out, throw yourself into your work, throw yourself into your schoolwork, throw yourself into whatever hobby you have. For me, it's music. For some of my friends, it's, gardening or working out, like things like that. So do whatever is your thing, and then be like, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm so-and-so's ex and I can't believe my relationship is over. Be like, yeah, I'm the best gardener on the block. Like, you wish you had green beans like this. I'm harvesting kale, bitches. Anyway, so that's a good segue, I think, into point number 4. So I think that our society is really bad about communicating about values. And that could probably be a whole nother video, but basically single people, kind of the societal lesson that we're taught is like, what's wrong with you? Why are you single, small little single person? You're worthless. Your value must not be good if you're single. And that is so stupid. And I'm not saying that everybody thinks that. I'm not saying that that's anyone's intention, but there's like a little part, I think, of most people that's like, wait, this relationship didn't work out. It was some sort of failing on my part, right, for whatever reason, kind of like we talked about before. Or, you know, like, what's wrong with me that I chose this person or whatever. And, you know, your relationship status has nothing to do with your value as a human being. So just because you're single right now doesn't mean you're going to be single forever. Okay, so that's one thing to think about. And, you know, just because this relationship didn't work out doesn't mean anything about you, right? As far as the rest of the world is concerned, definitely. So yeah, it may be that like you chose somebody who didn't treat you right, and then you stuck it out long after you made the realization like, oh, you're not good for me, and what are you thinking? So learn that lesson and move on, and then grow and let it go, right? Because if you're sitting here dwelling on it like, oh, I shouldn't date again because I chose somebody who was bad for me, and like, oh my gosh, like I can't date, like dating is so hard, and I'm so bad at it, but whatever, it's not you, it's not a you problem, okay? It's just finding the right person for you. Which brings me to, I guess, kind of the next point. So just because you haven't met the person yet doesn't mean they're not out there. You're not going to be single forever. I mean, the week before I met my husband, I was like, man, I'm so almost done. Like, dating is so hard. Where is he? You know, there's a part in Sex and the City where Charlotte says, I've been dating since I was 15. Where is he? You know, and it's like, I felt like that so much. I felt that so much. But, you know, your person's out there, or your people, or, you know, not if you're super asexual, in which case I really doubt you're watching this still. So, you know, it only has to work out once you find that person. So it only has to work out one time, right? Like, unless something happens and you get married again, or, you know, if you're just not really into that monogamous lifestyle and you're just into, like, you know, having different relationships, and that's fine, whatever works for you. But it doesn't have to work out with every single person. And there's probably a really good reason that it hasn't worked out. I mean, this isn't sharing a pizza. It's not like, hey, dude, let's go grab some beer and a pizza. This is like serious relationships, or they're not supposed to work out with just anybody, you know? So, so kind of think about that. And as you're sitting here being like, oh, like, what? Where is the person who's going to treat me right? Where is the person who's going to appreciate me? You know, where is that person who's going to, like, every time I see them, it makes my day a little bit. And, you know, when they text me, my heart lights up or whatever, right? Like, they're out there too, and they're wondering that about you. And maybe this last relationship taught you a lesson that you need to go forth and be ready to be in the relationship with that person. So, before I get to, like, into my own values, I don't want to force my values on anybody. I just want to give some content on a subject that I definitely have a lot of opinions about. My last point is that when you have the breakup, like, you don't have to share it with everyone, but I would encourage you to share it with at least one person who you're intimately close to, whether it's a friend or a family member, or, you know, somebody who, like, knows you, who you see, who actually genuinely cares about you, because I think it's important to allow yourself to be supported. So you may be like, dude, we broke up and I'm fine. I'm, like, so good. And it might hit you later. So just have that one person at least who knows. Maybe it's two people in case someone's busy at work, right? Who knows kind of what's going on and what you're going through. And, you know, if you're not handling it well, allow them to be the person who's like, okay, when do you get off work? Because I'm coming over with ice cream and wine, and we're just going to pour the wine into the ice cream. You're going to be okay. I'm going to take care of you. Let's watch movies. Disney movies. Okay, not Disney movies because they're romantic sometimes. All right, let's watch horror movies. I'll cuddle you. I got you, friend. Like, it's cool. It's platonic cuddling. I'm coming over, right? Have that friend. So, that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video because I put a bra on for this. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts, tips that have helped you with any kind of those, like, big kind of breakup things in life. And, yeah, let me know if this was helpful at all. So, talk to you later. Bye. I don't know how to stop this.